Just as it is true, it does not profit a man to gain the whole world if he loses his own soul, so it is true that good health, wealth, talent, and success become valueless to a person who fails to attain happiness and satisfaction in the love relations of the home. To live in happy love relations with those near to us is the one thing needful. Failing to accomplish this, we fail in all. Health, wealth, talent, and success are to a very great extent at least without value to a person whom nobody loves. How to get what you want in love is then the most vitally important of all studies in attainment. We know that love exists, and like all things has a beginning in every case. And we know that if it has a beginning, it must have a cause. There may be a love which has always existed and which is the great uncaused cause of all things, but love between finite persons did not always exist. It came into existence at some more or less definite period, and it must have a cause. There are some loves like a mother for her child which seems to be instinctive and part of our natures, but the love which makes and holds together the family and social circles, the love of wives and husbands, brothers and sisters, of neighbours, associates and friends, all these have a beginning and must be the result of causes. If so, the cause must be practically the same in every case, for it is a law that like causes always produce like effects. If we can find the cause of love and apply it, we shall be able to produce love. So we must go in search of this cause. At the outset, we discover that it is always something in the recipient, in the person to whom the love is bestowed. One person does not love another unless he sees something to love in that other. Love is always won or attracted by the person who is beloved. Love cannot be granted at will. You cannot love everybody. You may feel benevolent goodwill toward everybody, but that is not love. You can only love those from your point of view who are lovely. You love those who attract your love or win it. You cannot love those who do not. Love is not created by law or statutory enactment. You cannot love people because someone orders you to love them, nor can they love you because they ought to do so. Every person is under a moral obligation to be just and fair to others, but no person is under a moral obligation to love others. Every person is under a moral obligation to endeavour to so live as to win the love of others, but nobody, not even your husband or wife, is under obligation to love you. Instead, you are under obligation to win and hold the love of others. The husband whose wife ceased to love him has no ground for complaint. It is she who may justly complain that he ceased to win her love. The wife whose husband does not love her must not hold a fancied obligation over him. She must attract and win him, or she will lose him. No law or moral obligation can compel one person to love another. The fact that other people do not love us is not a cause for complaint against them. They cannot help it. If we were lovely, they could not help loving us. If I am not successful in business, it is because I have not applied the power within me so as to achieve success. And if I am not loved, it is because I have not applied the power within me so as to achieve or win love. If you are to be loved, remember that it can be only accomplished by making constructive use of that something within you which attracts love. You cannot get love any other way. And what is that something which attracts love? In a word, it is personality. If you are something, someone will love you for what you are. And the more you are, the larger number of people will love you. And the more you are, the more intensely you'll be loved. Drop at once and forever all notion of holding or attracting the love of others by force or obligation. Dismiss from your mind the false notion that your husband, wife, brother, sister, neighbour, friend ought to love you, and are blameworthy if they do not. That is a mistake. Set to work to develop that within yourself which can win love. Make constructive use of the power of personality. If you have no personality, develop one, and do not deceive by pretending to be what you are not. If you do that, you will be sure to be found out later, and you will lose the love you win by false pretense. Be what you are, and if you are not enough to win love, be more, develop yourself, cultivate a fine appearance, but do not rely upon looks alone. Beauty in a woman is a splendid thing, and so is a powerful and commanding appearance in a man. But if you have nothing beneath your fine exterior, you will not be able to retain the love you win. Your lover will discover that you are shallow and superficial, and the love will turn to contempt or pity. Remember that while a cheap personality may sometimes present a fine appearance, a fine personality can never fail to present an appearance of beauty and power. So cultivate a personality. When you have developed a splendid and commanding personality, you will not need to be uneasy as to how you look. Never make the mistake of trying to win love by slavish service to others. The spirit of service is a great thing, but the slavish spirit is contemptible. Do not run after any person or persistently and effusively wait on any person with the view of winning love by doing so. 9 times out of 10 you will only win contempt. It is right and proper to render every possible courteous and kindly service to others, but it is fatally wrong to make yourself a slave to anyone. You cannot win love by service. You can only win love by being something. You do not make people love you by the number of things you do for them. If they love you, it'll be for what you are.